Hey guys, this is Andy with Get Your Wellies. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to take a bucket, 5-gallon bucket. We're going to put some warm water in here. Then we're going to add our seed starting mix. This is cocoa coir, so we're going to put that in the warm water here in a minute. And we're going to make some seed starting mix so that we can start seeds today. But until then, why don't you get your wellies, meet me in the garden. So we're going to place the brick in the bucket and add the water to that. I'm just going to help this along a little bit and see where it's kind of dry in the middle. But this water is soaking up pretty quick in here. So while we give that a little time, let's go take a look at the seeds that we're going to plant today. Guys, we're just going to run through real quick the peppers that I'm going to grow. These are either for me or for a friend of mine who wanted some hot peppers. So here we go. We're going to do shishito. We're going to do the serrano pepper, the red ghost pepper, the West Indies red habanero, the very hot Carolina Reaper, Trinidad Scorpion, which I've grown before, but these are yellow instead of red last year. The Apocalypse Scorpion Crazy Hot Pepper. My favorite jalapeno. That is the Craig's Grande. New for me this year is the Thai Red Chili Pepper. And then one that's gotten lots of mentions on YouTube, the Sugar Rush Peach. So that is in total 10 varieties of, for the most part, pretty hot peppers. So I'm going to go see if our seed starting mix is ready over there and has soaked up all that water, and then we're going to transfer that into the seed tray so we can get some seeds going. Alright guys, so the cocoa coir is for the most part combined with the water. There's still a few areas that are dry. I'm just going to mix in a bit more. This feels just moist. It is very loamy, spongy. Cocoa coir does hold quite a bit of water, something around 10 times its weight or so. Not actually as much as peat moss. Peat moss holds more like close to 20 times its weight. So this is gonna hold water. I actually am kind of hoping not in quite the same way peat moss does, because peat moss to me is just a little bit too wet. However, the other thing that really helps is just to add some perlite to the mix, which I happen to have some perlite right here. This is really works well as an aggregate, so let's throw some of that in there. Probably a couple of cups of this, I would say. Perhaps a little more. Yeah, something like that. Doing this one hand is not great. I probably should have put the camera on the tripod, but it's okay. So let's mix that in. And that's looking pretty good. Just help to give it a little bit of drainage. The perlite does not retain any water. It just acts as a aggregate in the soil, so the roots have a place they can get around pretty easily. Kind of helps to stop it from being just a soggy mess. Vermiculite does not work the same way. Vermiculite actually will hold water, so perlite's what you want to do for seed starting. Vermiculite's great in your flower beds and raised beds, but not what you want for what we're doing here. And as I'm mixing this, I'm kind of feeling the rest of the brick, the few bits that were left are pretty much gone. It just absorbs all the moisture it needs. So, okay, and that's kind of what we end up looking like. So let's move along and get this transferred into the seed tray. Okay guys, so let's go ahead and put some of this seed stock mix in here, and basically we're just going to kind of put it in without packing it just yet. Just going to fill the holes. This is a hexagonal shaped pot. I'm not really married to anything in particular here, because I think the stage that they're going to be in here is just a real short one. Whenever we pot them up, they're going to go into something with a lot more nutrition and space. So I don't worry too much about what they're in the first few weeks that they're starting to grow. Bear in mind that peat moss has very little nutrition in it. Coco coir has even less, practically none. So if these were to be in here for some length of time, you would need to consider getting a liquid feed. We're going to bottom feed these, so it makes sense to use a liquid feed if we're going to have to add nutrients to this. So I'm still just filling up the cells. Speed this part up for you. Now this part of the process here, we're actually going to go ahead and press these all down a bit. So not hard, but just to get some of that air out of each one. So you're just going to go through and do that. So now you're packing just a little bit. I'm going to speed up again so you don't have to watch every single bit here. Okay, now we're going to add another layer to this. Fill in all those parts that were a little bit low. So now we're getting more close to where we're ready to plant. This top part can be fairly loose. You want compact enough to be able to absorb the water up to the seeds, and those first roots, when they first come out, they're real fine and they don't reach very deep for the first few days, but they do grow quick. So you want your soil to be fairly loose, a little tighter at the bottom, but just kind of a snug soil, not too airy, not too compacted. Yeah, we're getting somewhere close to what I think we need here. Looking pretty good. Here we go. So that looks pretty good. Alright, so let's take a look now at what we're going to do to get some seeds in here. Alright guys, so I'm only going to plant 2 of each of these for my own purposes, and then 2 of these will go to friends. So I'm just going to plant 1, 2, 3, these 4 in each row, and I'll put more than one seed in a couple of them just in case we don't get good germination. So this row is going to be the shishito pepper, and I think what I'm going to run into is these won't fit under the lid very well, but let's see. So what I'll do here is just put one seed in that one, maybe two in this one, and then one here, and then two right here. And what I typically do is just use the marker to tap those in. These don't need to go in very far. 1/8 to 1/4 inch is fine. Couple in that one. So there we go. Sometimes you start seeing different pieces on top unless you keep your eye on the seed. It's kind of easy to lose that with that perlite in there. So I think what I'm going to do is put these at the back, and then you can always take a picture when you get done, or you can put stickers on the front so that you know what you put where. Okay guys, same process with the serranos. So then we just need to make sure we document what's in each row. That way, even if these tags get pulled out by, let's say, a Carvapoo puppy, we'll still know what peppers are planted where. So that's a good idea to do that when you finish up planting. Now the other thing you'll want to be able to do is lift part of the tray out so that you can go ahead and water from below. You'll need to check that every day or two. Not so much at the beginning because the humidity tent will be on there, but later when you take that off, you'll definitely need to check under here pretty frequently. So I'm going to put in about, this is about half a, let's see, pint or so, just to make sure that there will be some water in there. It's actually sucking it up really quick, so I may just actually do a little bit more than that. Okay, that's a lot better, so let me put the other tray back in. That will probably suck up most of the rest of that water. So let me show you where the new home is going to be. We'll put the tent on top first too. So this is the new home. We have lights under here. I actually probably will lower these a little bit because the last plants I had in here were getting taller, so those need to be adjusted down. Other than that, this is on a timer, so it'll turn on early in the morning. Right now those peppers don't really need any light, but once they emerge they will be looking for some light, so this is where they're going to be for a while. Well, thanks guys for joining me with the first seed starts of the year. That's the peppers gone in. It is about, well, we've got maybe just a little over 10 weeks left before last frost date. So check your last frost dates. 10 to 12 weeks on peppers is good. Of course you can plant them anytime during the summertime, but I like to try and get them in at the beginning of the season. Once we get down to that 6-week mark, we're going to be looking at tomatoes next. So hopefully the peppers will graduate out to the garage before then. But anyway, if you want to check out some of the other videos, the Papa Andy's Poppers is a good one if you want to see something you can do with your jalapenos. Also take a look at the tomatoes. that are growing inside. Lights off. Well, here you go, look. Let's turn that on. There's actually some red ones on here now, so we'll actually take a look at those on another video here pretty soon, because we probably need to try a taste test on those. So anyway, look out for future videos. Thanks for joining me. Really appreciate your support. Give me a thumbs up if you like the channel. Please go ahead and subscribe. It really helps. So I appreciate you all, and until I see you next time, bye now.